Bam! Oh, wait a minute. That was years ago. Good morning, Patriots. Just kidding. Good evening, Patriots. It is Dark MAGA. And yes, I don't have the Dark MAGA on hat. We do have it right here, but we're going to be here for quite a while. So this bad boy, it hurts my ears. Well, now your back's going to hurt because you just pulled landscaping duty. Yes, that is a Happy Gilmore reference. You're welcome. But really, it does hurt my head after a while, so it's a little tight on me. So now we're just going to wear this hat for today. Get over it! Also, thank you for all the lovely emails and messages you guys sent me via email, via YouTube, via Twitter. I am doing okay. And as I've mentioned, hey, we're trying to lose some weight here, so I'm back on a training regimen. Lifting weights again, baby. Looking sexy. And with that being said, I went a little hard the past couple days, so my whole body hurts. I'm talking my back, dude, my legs, everything. So, and you guys know how I mentioned I'm dealing with kind of sleep problems, so always feeling tired. I figured, hey, I woke up for the show. Don't get me wrong. We had things scheduled. We had things jam-packed, ready to go. Your boy's always ready. But I woke up and I'm like, I was, walking around like, yeah, I think I need this day, man. I think I need to sleep in a little bit. I'm getting older. I'm not all spry as I used to be. I'm only 36, but hell, I tell you what, it takes longer to recover, man. I was an athlete for like 20 plus years, man. I tell you what, it takes a while to recover nowadays. I ain't waking up the next morning ready to go anymore. So your boy needed to sleep. I appreciate your understanding. Now, if we don't go live within like 15, 20 minutes of our normal scheduled time, you can assume that, I'm sleeping. Now, that can only go on for another week because I go back to work. So pretty much we'll never miss a show going forward for like another 10 months. But with that being said, man, ooh, baby, we got some big news, man. Now, I'm going to cover a lot of this tomorrow morning as well on our Friday episode for the Bald Brad Show. I'm salivating right now. Hillary Clinton. Classified documents drop, baby. And it is another bombshell. It's not just a bombshell for Hillary Clinton. Take a deep breath. This is what we've been waiting for. Years waiting for. It also gives credibility to the original documents that we covered, and we did a multiple episode on video episode for that matter, breaking down. So you got Hillary Clinton emails, basically green light in the Russia hoax, blows that one up. We have, let's see, a whistleblower coming out. Those documents were released by Tulsi Gabbard as well. We have other documents that just give credibility and proof to the other documents that dropped that this whole thing was fabricated. Look, the original docs that already had dropped that she gave us, a week ago, that was already enough for me to go, look, there's no way around this, as if you're getting out of a collusion in the sense of working with our intel apparatus to fabricate an entire story about a political opponent. Now that these documents have dropped, there is legitimately no other narrative you could possibly create here for Hillary Clinton, the CIA, the FBI, Comey, Clapper, Brennan, Obama, all these people involved. There is no way around it. I don't even know how you stick with the Democrat Party after this. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a registered Republican. I really do mean that. I don't even know how you have faith in your own party anymore. Not that many do. I mean, their freaking poll numbers are terrible. So majority of what I have prepared for you guys today, by the way, is videos, like long form. So like I said, we're probably going to be here for like 2 hours. All right, so newly declassified intelligence documents released Thursday revealed Hillary Clinton personally approved. I'm going to say that again. Hillary Clinton, in these documents, personally approved a campaign plan to smear then candidate Donald Trump with false Russian collusion claims to distract her email scandal from the rest of us. Yeah, remember that email scandal that was going on? By the way, these documents you can get right now. So matter of fact, let me show you how you, if you want, do a little bit of a light reading. One of them is 19 pages and the other one is, God, I want to say like 120 or something like that. If you go to Tulsi Gabbard's X page, okay, looks like this, and you scroll down, okay, she has the documents here. It looks like she retweeted our boy Philip Wegman. I mean, everybody's talking about this. And if you go here, the whistleblower, it's going to take you to the odni.gov files. Okay. So here's one of them. And again, this one is the 19-1. So this one, I believe, is the whistleblower, if I have that correct. Yes. Okay, so these are the whistleblower documents. I've already downloaded them. I've already started reading them. I'm going to break down a pretty lengthy synopsis tomorrow morning for you guys. So if you don't want to bother reading through these, I'll take care of you on that end by just parsing through all of it and giving you a pretty long form scripted. By the way, I need to do scripted here because there's a lot jam-packed. I'm going to give you a scripted synopsis of this document. And then I'm going to give you another scripted synopsis of the other information that's come out. So if you go to this website here and they have the releases for you. Let me give it to you right here. Let's see if I can copy and paste this for you guys in the chat if you want it. There you go. So if you go here, you can get the reports itself and then the whistleblower records, okay? So it's up to you. I've already downloaded both. I'm parsing through it right now. I've been doing that for the last few hours. And tomorrow morning, I'll give you guys a detailed breakdown of all this stuff. I'm not going to go page by page like I did with the other stuff, but I'll go through it with you. So Special Counsel John Durham uncovered the information during his multi-year investigation into intelligence activities during the 2016 election. The intelligence released Monday by Senator Chuck Grassley, says here, came from 2 memos obtained by the Obama administration containing confidential conversations between members of the DNC and George Soros. Yes, sir. Oh, boy. Remember? Oh, you conspiracy theorists. Stop it. You silly people. You're just nothing but tinfoil hat. Yeah, well, it turns out George Soros' Open Society Foundation was involved. Uh-oh. Gee, isn't that what we're all saying? Probably Soros was involved. Yes, sir. According to the declassified files, Clinton personally approved a plan proposed by her foreign advisory policy advisor, Julianne Smith, to smear Donald Trump's campaign by magnifying the scandal tied to the intrusion by the Russian special services in the pre-election process to benefit the Russian candidate. Republican candidate, forgive me. Smith was later appointed to serve as ambassador to NATO under President Joe Biden. Yeah, well, you get the highest positions in office when you do a terrible job. Haven't we said it's a common theme that I've noticed amongst the Democrat Party, that when you suck at your job, you get elevated to the highest levels of office. So check this out. Check these like phrases that are caught in this whole document release. One stunning email written by Open Society Foundation, that was the George Soros Foundation, stated this: HRC, which is Hillary Clinton, approved Julia's idea about Trump and Russian hackers hampering U.S. elections. Listen, that should distract people from her own missing email, especially if the affair goes to Olympic level. Isn't that crazy? Look, the point is making the Russian play a U.S. domestic issue. In absence of directive evidence, CrowdStrike and Threat Connect will supply the media, and the Russian foreign intelligence arm will hopefully carry on to give more facts. Yo, this is crazy, man. This is nuts. By the way, again, the CIA is involved in this. The FBI is involved in this. The DNC is involved in this. George Soros is involved in this. The President of the United States is involved in this. This is at all levels. You are talking United States government is fully corrupt and complicit in a massive psyop upon the American people. Personally, I'll be honest, I don't know. Not that you had much faith in the government as it is, but you have one of the most corrupt governments on planet Earth, by the way. I mean, us talking crap about the Chinese or the Iranians or whatever, yo, we need to start looking in the mirror at ourselves and going, hold on a second. We're not exactly great people ourselves, because look at what the Democrats did. I mean, talk about a party that has messed up over its entire inception. Am I wrong here? You're talking the party of slavery, man. You're talking the party of the Klan. They're talking about the party of the Jim Crow laws and so on and so forth. I mean, they wouldn't even put forth the civil rights movement. Remember, it was the Democrats that didn't have the votes. It was the Republicans that gave them the votes to push it forward. The Republicans are the ones that are the heroes and everything. I mean, the Democrats have the metaphorical plantation. The Democrats are utilizing the intelligence agencies to fabricate a bunch of stuff against a political opponent. This is crazy. Everything we are witnessing is one big movie. Yep. Somebody else commented on that in one of my TikTok videos. It's like out of a movie. Absolutely. This is nuts. So Chuck Grassley Chuck Grassley, declassified Clinton plot report. This is nuts. So FBI Director Kash Patel said, we've uncovered this annex along with thousands of other documents buried in a back room at the FBI, dude. It revealed a highly classified piece of the Durham report, evidence that the Clinton campaign plotted to frame President Trump and fabricate the Russia collusion hoax. They found this sucker in like some closet, dude, in the FBI building, some random room. I think this was the stuff that was in the burn bag, by the way. We worked with Chairman Grassley and declassified the documents immediately, and now the American people could see the truth for themselves. Again, I said burn bag because that's what Kash Patel said. So that means that they definitely got rid of evidence and information that will never come to light. Just imagine what stuff is actually out there. So when I hear things are in burn bags, it makes me wonder what part of the Epstein stuff was in burn bags too that actually were burned. Because remember, they had a lot of time knowing that Donald Trump was getting out of office. Joe Biden was getting out of office and Donald Trump was coming in. They had a lot of months to get ready. Kash Patel wasn't even sworn in until the end of February, by the way. Remember, not only did Kash Patel, Dan Bongino, Tulsi Gabbard, all of them say that there's people still in the deep state here. There's still people that are doing nefarious stuff right now as we speak. We're trying to get them out. We're trying to find who they are. But there's a lot of people that are going against the United States and America itself that are working in these high intelligence agencies that are doing some nefarious stuff. So it makes you wonder what was burned, what was deleted, what was scrapped, what was shredded, what is kaput, gone that we'll never even know about. And by the way, this doesn't just go for this stuff. It goes for Martin Luther King. It goes for the JFK files. All that stuff makes you wonder. So again, Chuck Grassley released the declassified appendix to Special Counsel John Durham's report. Now, why didn't that come out? Again, I'm going to release more information tomorrow morning. I know I keep emphasizing it. You want to be there or be square. But I'm going to release stuff because what the whistleblower had to say is pretty bonkers. And it gives intent, man. It gives intent. So Benny Johnson, to give you a little bit of a taste, right? Get your palate wet a little bit, wet your whistle here. The declassified Durham annex confirms Hillary Clinton personally approved the plan to frame Trump and Russian hacking U.S. election claims to distract her from missing emails. Demonize Trump. Later, the FBI will put more oil on the fire. And it literally says that, by the way. Look at this. This email. The media analysis on the DNC hacking appears solid. This is an important story because it would be the first time that we know of that a state deliberately uses the infiltration and publication of data to interfere in the U.S. election. At the same politicization is on the table. I have been a bit surprised that nobody has mentioned this 18 months long story yet in their analysis. It makes explicit reference to U.S. elections at the end. Julie says it will be a long-term affair to demonize Putin and Trump. Now it is good for a post-convention bounce. Later, the FBI will put more oil into the fire. Whoa, that's crazy, dude. And by the way, if you go through the classified or declassified documents now, it talks about the whistleblower really pushing back against his bosses and saying, look, I told them they can't do this. They didn't want to listen. He tried to go other routes. And they're like, hey, we don't have routes for you to go, buddy. You need to shut your mouth is basically what they were doing to this guy. This is so damaging. And I don't know why this is not getting bigger play here amongst the mainstream media themselves. I mean, obviously Fox is covering it, but you'll be remiss if really you get CNN, MSNBC doing really any hard time on this type of stuff because it totally blows the water. Remember, they pushed all that stuff as well. The mainstream media pushed all the Russia collusion stuff, and now it's all coming back.
Hi, Tulsi. How are you?
All right. Well, that was weird. Okay, so we got Glenn Beck here. I told you, we got a lot of long form videos. Tulsi Gabbard is on Glenn Beck's show, The Blaze. Absolutely love Glenn Beck. A lot of people buy actually mine and his book at the same time. Or if they buy my book, they'll go ahead and buy his book or vice versa. So shout out to Glenn Beck. We must have a similar audience and writing style, my friend, because they're buying up both of our information here, our books. So here we go.
How are you?
I'm good. It's great to see you.
Good to see you. First of all, how's everything in Hawaii? We prayed for you and everybody in Hawaii.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thankfully, the tsunami passed without any real damage. I was talking to my folks and friends and family there late last night here on the East Coast and just trying to help make sure everyone was prepared for the worst, which is what you have to do. It looked like it was going to be quite potentially very damaging. They were looking at 1 to 3 meter waves, essentially like 10-foot waves.
Horrible.
That, in any respect is kind of it's a tough day in the ocean, but for a tsunami that would have been disastrous. And so again, thankfully everyone is safe. and minimal effect.
So let's go into what has been released and what is still yet to come. As I look at the stuff that has, in the declassified documents of Russiagate, it confirms what many of us have already known. Are you surprised at anything at the media not reporting any of this? I mean, we've known a lot of this, but now the media is absolutely silent on it. And people seem to be deleting posts and no longer commenting online. What's happening?
Yes. I am not surprised that the mainstream media is refusing to cover this. And if they do mention it, their approach is to try to diminish the effect and the impact of the revelations, the historic revelations that were found in the documents that we declassified and released, or to try to bring voice to detractors and critics who also just say, oh, well, this is bizarre or this is crazy. But when you actually look at the coverage and you look at some of the comments and the quotes that the mainstream media may be choosing to publish or highlight, they're not actually getting after the very specific
If you're curious what I was just doing right now, because my head was down, I was writing an appeal on TikTok because the video that I made on TikTok, which was surrounding this whole story about the declassified documents and Hillary Clinton stuff, which, by the way, that was written before I actually made the video on this whole thing, is all factual information that was released on the internet by our own DNI right here. It was just flagged and taken down off TikTok. So I was currently writing an appeal to TikTok for basically saying, what the hell are you doing? But this is how they work, man. They don't want the truth out there. This is already the censorship trying to cover up this story and not get it out to the American people. Because again, big tech is just the massager, right? The massager and the gross mechanism of the Democrat Party to make sure the truth doesn't get out to the American people. Bunch of sickos, man. I'm tired of these commie bastards, man.
Pieces of evidence that were released that quote people like John Brennan, who was the CIA director, and James Clapper, who was Obama's director of national intelligence. They are not giving voice to the intelligence professionals who, in these reports that we released, were protesting against the very malicious actions that people like Brennan and Clapper were taking at President Obama's direction to create this intelligence assessment that was filled with falsehoods. They're not giving voice to these intelligence professionals because they recognize that it would push forward a very inconvenient truth for the mainstream media because it exposes their complicity in pushing this lie and this hoax from not only day one, but throughout President Trump's entire first administration.
And all of these people are still, Brennan, Clapper, they have been the source on so many things, and they're in with the media. And I wonder if this is just part of more of the same, that they're asking them, is there anything to this? And they say, no, there's not. In fact, it's a whatever. And then I also wonder, how many people are you surrounded by that are still part of that old system?
It's a good question. As we are finding these documents, going through them, declassifying and releasing them, we are learning more about who is actually directly involved and implicated in this. We're learning more about who may have been in the room and who was loudly protesting against it, recognizing how wrong it was. We have whistleblowers coming forward with their own documentation of their protests and their unwillingness to go along with this. So yes, there are people who are still working within the intelligence community who had a hand in this. As we are identifying them, it will give us the opportunity to make sure that they and others like them who, again, are so willing to weaponize intelligence to subvert the will of the American people can no longer work in the intelligence community.
So
I do want to point out that if nobody gets arrested or prosecuted in this, like there's no actual serious prison time for like life, for example, or like you're doing 50, 60 years, this is just going to keep happening. It doesn't matter who it is. Now that people know they get away with it, I'll be a slap on the wrist. No big deal. No harm, no foul. People need to go away for like the rest of their life in prison for this type of stuff. If it doesn't happen, then people are going to keep doing it because they know it's a slap on the wrist.
Devin Nunes, Kash Patel, all these guys were in the last time Trump was in. This was produced in the last administration. Why didn't this come out then?
It's a good question, and it's an obvious one. I can't speak for those who were there at that time, but I've asked some of these same questions, and they were facing, I can't speak for all of them, but for Devin, for example, and for Cash, they were up against the deep state in many cases who refused to release these documents. If you remember, Mike Pompeo was President Trump's, I think he was his first CIA director, followed by Gina Haspel. I was told Gina Haspel refused to release these documents. So again, the more that we find in the documentation as whistleblowers come forward, I think the story will continue to be told about what actually happened and why it is that here we are in 2025. And again, this won't surprise many people who've been following this story very closely for years. But the fact that we have documented evidence and proof is the thing that matters, both to shine a light on the truth, that this wasn't something that was in someone's imagination or concocted, but I think even most importantly, that can drive towards accountability.
So Fox News had an exclusive that said Kash Patel found thousands of sensitive documents related to the origins of the Trump-Russia probe buried in multiple burn bags in secret rooms inside the Bureau. What's a burn bag?
A burn bag is something that you'll find in many offices throughout the intelligence community, throughout these different workspaces in national security. Basically, if I have a document that's highly classified, I read it, I review it, I'm done with it. My copy can then go in the burn bag to make sure that it's not doesn't end up in the wrong hands, that there's not an unauthorized disclosure of classified information. It's a very different story, however, if you use a burn bag to try to get rid of evidence of which maybe there is only one copy of, and then hide it in a secret room in the FBI. That is a tactic, obviously, that has been used by those deep staters, these bad actors within the intelligence community to try to get rid of evidence. Another tactic that's often used is over-classifying information. This is what happened with the Steele dossier. This was already widely publicized as a discredited document. But what John Brennan did and James Clapper did as the CIA director and the Obama's director of national intelligence, they didn't want anybody to know that they used the Steele dossier as a source for this intelligence assessment that was filled with falsehoods they published in January of 2017, as well as other really, really shoddy intelligence sources that would not be acceptable to be used on any topic because they were not deemed credible. They wanted to hide all of this from members of Congress, perhaps, who were reading this, and the American people, and President Trump, then President-elect Trump at that time. And so they overclassified it in a way that there were less than 10 people who could access it. Jeez. And then they locked up the only hard copy documents. This document did not exist on digits. The document that actually exposed, this was the document that we released. Right. They locked that document up and the 5 copies that existed in a safe. And the first time it had been seen, certainly in public, but even by many within the government, was when we released it about a week ago.
Sunday, John Radcliffe said that there's more declassification of intelligence coming out that shows how deep this went. He said it's stunning. Any idea on the timeline of that?
We're getting more? Jeez, dude.
Going through the declassification process right now. I expect it to be released very soon. I think the document will speak for itself. And once again, it will, I think, confirm what a lot of people have already known to be true, but it'll connect.
This has to be the stuff that was released today, right? I mean, it goes on for another 37 minutes. Just a podcast alone. I don't think she's going to reveal anything that I haven't already revealed to you, and also that I'm going to explain further in detail tomorrow for all of you during the Morning Bolt Brad show. So I won't be showing too much foot at the beginning of tomorrow's morning live stream, just because I need to talk about the documents. I think this stuff's important, you guys, because as you're seeing, I would expect some sort of trials, mega trials to be going on, because if this is what I think it is, meaning bigger than Watergate, and some of you were alive during Watergate and you know how big that was, I think this is like 10x bigger than Watergate. I would like you to be thoroughly equipped with at least a good idea of what these documents are saying. So that's why on the original report that she released, I went through and I gave you really good kind of an idea page by page of what the documents were talking about in terms of Crossfire Hurricane, in terms of what happened with them fabricating material to push a narrative upon the American people that wasn't true. And then Barack Obama coming back and saying, look, we need a new report that says something different because this doesn't push the narrative that we want to push. And now you also have documents saying that Hillary Clinton was involved. And by the way, you had information in those original documents that I covered that Hillary Clinton was involved. So it's all kind of one giant spider web. But it's one of those spider webs that's actually really easy to unravel and follow along to. So we'll make sure that we cover that tomorrow morning. A few of you asking, especially John was asking, what happened to the live stream on Tuesday? Well, in terms of YouTube and stuff like that, I don't really know what was going on. It was having its hiccups. I don't know why it was struggling on YouTube. It must have been on their end, but I'm not really sure what happened. And then we were streaming fine on Rumble. And then an hour and 19 minutes in, it literally just cut my stream off. It was the oddest thing. I mean, it just, everything was just completely turned off. So I'm like, well, I'm not going to go back and stream. The show was already over. We were just kind of hanging out. But yeah, in terms of why it just cut me off, it beats me. No idea. So yeah, I apologize for that, but there's nothing I can do about it. So they cut it off. We were already done. I'm like, I'm not going to go re-live again and be like, oh, hey, sorry. Like, this was a mistake. I don't know what happened. Nah. All right. Excuse me. I just inhaled my own spit. Disgusting. We have today's White House press briefing. I have not seen this yet, but I see the man, the myth, the legend, Peter Ducey in the room. Let's go ahead and roll it.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. We have a lot of news today, and I have.
Is that her mic or is that my headset? Yeah, I haven't bought a new headset yet. Okay, calm down. Let me know if that static is my headphones or that's her mic. I can't tell.
A few announcements for you, so let's get to it. First, on behalf of the President and the White House, we express our deepest condolences to the family of New York police officer Islam, who made the ultimate sacrifice in defense of his fellow New Yorkers. As the funeral services are held in New York City today, everyone at the White House is keeping the officer's family, friends, and fellow NYPD law enforcement officers in our thoughts and prayers.
Thank you. I didn't realize I was on mute. I keep coughing. I don't want you guys to hear it. The static was me. That's what I was saying. The static was all me. Don't worry. What else was I gonna say? Oh, I bumping the speed up to one. People talk so slow. Like, I talk really fast, and it bugs me that they don't talk fast either. So if you're like, hey, why does she sound a little bit weird? It's because I bumped the speed up, okay? When I listen to an audiobook, I have it on like 2.5, sometimes 3 times the speed. So I'm being generous by making it 1.2.
The President has always, and will always, proudly stand with our men and women in blue. May God bless Officer Islam and the other individuals who were tragically killed in this senseless act of violence. In other news, President Trump's working visit to Scotland was a huge success. In less than 48 hours, President Trump brokered the biggest, most impactful trade deal in history and prevented a war in Asia for the second time since he took office. We have never had a president who wields the full power of the United States to negotiate good deals for our country and its people like President Trump. This is what maximum leverage looks like. On the peace front, President Trump helped deliver an immediate and unconditional ceasefire between Thailand and Cambodia. The two countries were engaged in a deadly conflict that had displaced more than 300,000 people until President Trump stepped in to put an end to it. The president spoke directly on the phone with the acting Prime Minister of Thailand and the Prime Minister of Cambodia to inform both leaders that unless they brought their conflict to an end, there would be no trade discussions or agreements with the United States. Almost immediately afterward, a peace was brokered that will save thousands of lives and allowed for trade negotiations with these countries to resume, and they have. The president has now ended conflicts between Thailand and Cambodia, Israel and Iran, Rwanda and the Democratic Republic of the Congo, India and Pakistan, Serbia and Kosovo, and Egypt and Ethiopia. This means President Trump has brokered, on average, about one peace deal or ceasefire per month during his 6 months in office. It's well past time that President Trump was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize. I know the topic of Israel is on everyone's mind. I have an update from Special Envoy Steve Witkoff, who I got off the phone with this morning. Special Envoy Witkoff and Ambassador Huckabee had a very productive meeting with Prime Minister Netanyahu and other officials today in Israel on the topic of delivering much-needed food and aid to Gaza.
I was listening to Glenn Beck talk about this on his show right after we talked about it the same day. I think it was, so it would have been Tuesday we talked about it on the show, about the starvation that's happening in Gaza. Now, there is starvation going on, but there's also a lot of manipulation in terms of what they're willing to show you guys. Like, they're showing a lot of starving children, but what's weird, and I'm talking like Holocaust looking style children, right? Where you're looking at skin and bone. It's not fun to watch, but some of the kids that they showed had a disorder basically that didn't allow them to absorb nutrients and gain weight, basically. Like, for example, there's one famous picture of a woman who looks completely fine, by the way. It doesn't look like she's extremely malnourished or starving. You would think if the kids are usually the first ones to get fed, right? The parents are the last to get fed. So it'd make more sense that you would see a lot of older people, skin and bones, than you would children. I mean, at some point you're going to have both, right? But you shouldn't be seeing a parent that looks just normal and then a kid just all skin and bones. So that should raise alarm flags for you. And what they were pointing out was just that exact thing where you're seeing pictures of adults looking totally fine and then kids all malnourished, like left and right. But what they did was they actually cropped one photo of a kid and his brother where they had the kid in the mom's arms that was all, skin and bones, which is terrible to see. But they left the brother out that was completely fine. The brother looks normal. Now, I'm not saying starvation is not happening, but also at the same time, it doesn't help build your case. There's this horrific scene happening in Gaza, and you're kind of having to manipulate images to push a narrative. See, if it was just already happening, you don't need to change the image of anything or crop it or whatever, because it's just happening. Again, there is starvation happening, but on a scale of what they're saying, I don't know. I still want aid to go in. Don't get me wrong. That's not the point. The point is that I don't think it's always good to help your case if you're going to have to fabricate or alter images to push a narrative for yourself. And I do think it's weird. I've seen video. I mean, the men themselves and the people do not look malnourished. They look like they're eating. So, which is good. I don't want them to be malnourished. I want them to have aid, but it is all a little bit tough at the same time.
President Trump is a humanitarian with a big heart, and that's why he sent Special Envoy Witkoff to the region in an effort to save lives and end this crisis. Tomorrow, Special Envoy Witkoff and Ambassador Huckabee will be traveling into Gaza to inspect the current distribution sites and secure a plan to deliver more food and meet with local Gazans to hear firsthand about this dire situation on the ground. The special envoy and the ambassador will brief the president immediately after their visit to approve a final plan for food and aid distribution into the region, and we will provide more details.
You guys, damn it. I appreciate that. Thank you. Headphone account. Thank you. So we got $10 coming in from Danielle over at YouTube. Again, $10 for a headphone account. I appreciate that. I think I got to go back. I think somebody already donated money to a headphone thing. So I think we're almost at having to just go buy new headphones now. Q giving $20 headphone funds. Thank you. I appreciate it. You guys are ridiculous. Thank you for supporting me. I feel a little embarrassed because I'm very thankful. You guys know my heart. I'm extremely thankful. But at the same time, you guys know me. I'm cheap. I do have money to buy headphones. I appreciate the donations, and I promise you the $20 and the $10 will go towards the headphones. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. But yeah, I do need new ones. It's bad. But I mean, if I take them off, you guys can kind of see that they're falling apart, right? Here we go.
Details for all of you once that plan is approved and agreed on by the President of the United States. On the trade front, the president secured a historic trade agreement with the European Union that puts America first and fundamentally strengthens the economic relationship between the two largest economies in the world. This deal delivers on two of President Trump's core promises on trade,
Thank you, Q, for the 20
America's
again.
manufacturing
Thank you,
capacity
Danielle. I appreciate
and
you guys.
opening
Thank
up
you.
foreign market access to American businesses. The deal guarantees that American businesses will have unprecedented levels of access to the European Union markets to export our American-made goods. Also, as part of this agreement, the EU will purchase $750 billion in U.S. energy to strengthen our energy dominance, reduce European reliance on adversarial sources, and narrow our trade deficit with the EU. The EU will also make new investments of $60 billion in the United States, in addition to the more than $100 billion the EU companies already invest in the U.S. every year. All of these massive purchases and investments will happen by the end of 2028. What we are watching is President Trump rebuilding the greatest economy in the history of the world and simultaneously proving the so-called economic experts wrong at every turn. Media pundits said a trade deal with the EU this monumental and beneficial to America would be impossible, but President Trump made it happen. The so-called economic experts repeatedly said that the American economy would be in a recession this summer. Well, summer is here. It's almost over, and that recession does not exist. Yesterday, in fact, real GDP growth in the second quarter increased at a 3.0% annual rate, significantly above expectations. President Trump's America First policies are driving economic growth, as he always said they would. And this growth is being driven by the private sector, not the government. Federal government spending.
Holy crap, that video was fully removed off TikTok. That's crazy, man. Wow. I mean, I still submitted an appeal, but that's nuts. They gave me a strike and fully removed the video that I made about Hillary Clinton's files being exposed. You can go read them for yourselves. I took exact quotes from the actual file that's on the internet, and I got flagged for misinformation again. What the hell? That's such, dude. I'm so tired of the censorship.
Fell for a second straight quarter, while real business, fixed investment.
I'm tired of it because we can actually, I'm at a point, you guys, where in my videos that I make, I don't, if you listen to my 60-second videos that I've been making, I haven't been actually adding in my own interpretation all that much. So what I've been doing is I'll write out a script beforehand that is just information directly from news articles. And I could put in like 15 articles and have it generate something for me, and I can modify it. But this is crazy, man. I mean, we are at the point where it's legitimately censoring just factual news that you could get from a released document. By the way, what do you do at that point? If you legitimately can't read the news and then report on what the news is saying. I'm at a loss for words here. Like, what do you actually do then? You can't have a podcast. I mean, if platforms are just constantly going to ban you for what you say, like, on hand to God, you guys, like, what do I do? It's so frustrating. I legitimately don't know what to do.
Rose by nearly 2% following its first quarter surge.
I'll be honest, man, it doesn't make you want to do it anymore. You know what I mean? Like before I get like, okay, we don't like a narrative that's being pushed, and we think because you're conservative and you're giving your conservative viewpoint on said thing, we don't want that because we don't like conservative ideology. But when you get to the point where I'm not actually even giving conservative ideology, and by the way, I haven't done so really for like 2 years on the channel, at what point do you just go like, well, I literally can't say anything, so why the fuck do this at all then? Do you know what I mean? No, YouTube's taking down my stuff though too. And YouTube pulls their own stuff. I don't even want to, you guys know, I don't want to keep beating a dead horse with it, but it's frustrating, man. I appreciate that. I just need a moment here. It's just so demoralizing, dude. And I'm sure you guys have seen it a little bit. Like I'm sure you guys have not my personality. My personality is still the same. I think my energy into the show hasn't been there probably in the last few months, just because this is it's you guys. It's like climbing through mud, man. It really is, and it's not about the views. It's about, and I've talked to my wife about this. It is about the fact that you've been doing this for 5 years, and I'm not saying it's the greatest of all content, but it's like you don't see any change. Like, really? And the fact that my viewership has actually gone down, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't want to get into that. I don't want to get into the viewer stuff. It just seems like I'm complaining. And I don't want that to seem like it. I'm blessed for what I have. I'm blessed for you guys. It's just frustrating when you know that something should keep going up and it's not. And then you're getting silenced for things that you say. It's just very, very frustrating.
President Trump is right-sizing government spending, reversing the damage done by the Biden administration, and allowing the private sector to flourish. The same so-called experts claimed that President Trump's tariffs would spike inflation and hurt American consumers. But consumer spending growth just accelerated and inflation remains right on track. For the past 5 straight months, core inflation has come in below market expectation and remains in line with the Fed's 2% inflation.
So now they re-put my video back up. Let me read you I want you guys to be able to hear what my appeal was. Okay. So I had to write an appeal, and this is what I wrote. Like, this is exactly what I wrote in the appeal. This video cites declassified government documents released by Senator Chuck Grassley and the findings from Special Counsel John Durham, official U.S. sources. It presents a good faith commentary on verified public records, not misinformation. I respectfully request a review and reinstatement under TikTok standards for political speech and documented reporting. So this is what they do. You want to know why they do this as well? The video's dead in the water. I uploaded this shit 2 hours ago. It's not going to reach anybody now. Might as well delete it, which is what I'm going to do. And then I'm going to reload this. I'm going to re-upload this fucker at 7 o'clock, which is peak prime time. That's what they do, though. It's happened quite a bit. I just don't. If you guys, it seems like I might bitch and moan and complain about this a lot. But trust me, it deserves a lot more bitching, moaning, complaining.
Target. Meanwhile, customs and tariff revenues have already totaled more than $150 billion.
Exactly, Jeff. Then why censor the video in the first place if you're just going to reinstate it? Exactly. Thank you. Yes. So you were going to delete the video for let me get this straight. You were going to delete the video for misinformation about reports that you could go read yourself, and there was no interpretation in the video. You were going to delete it. And by the way, did delete it. They did do it. I took a screenshot of it on my phone. And then I would also like to point out, you now reinstate what was allegedly misinformation. How does that make sense to anybody? So I was saying things that are truthful and you were going to remove the video if I had not appealed it? Isn't that a little like effed up?
Since President Trump took office, leading to the first June budget surplus in nearly a decade. Those revenues will skyrocket even further starting tomorrow when new reciprocal tariff rates take effect. President Trump is restoring America's economic sovereignty by reducing our reliance on foreign countries, boosting investment in the U.S. to the tune of trillions of dollars, and creating hundreds of thousands of high-paying jobs for the American people. With America finally put first on trade and the largest middle-class tax cuts in history and other pro-growth provisions of the One Big Beautiful Bill beginning to take effect, the American economy will boom like never before over the course of the next 3.5 years, thanks to the president's vision. Finally, as you all know, the president signed an executive order earlier this year to solve the problem of exorbitant pharmaceutical pricing. According to recent data, the prices that Americans have been paying for brand name drugs are more than 3 times the price other similarly developed nations pay. The president is determined to solve this problem and took further action today. He has signed 17 letters to pharmaceutical companies' CEOs, and I would like to read you one of these letters to the CEO of Eli Lilly. All of these letters will be provided to you following this briefing. This is to the CEO of Eli Lilly from the President of the United States. On May 12, 2025, I signed an executive order delivering most favored nation prescription drug pricing to American patients to stop global freeloading and guarantee that Americans pay the same prices enjoyed by other developed nations. Right now, brand name drugs in the United States are up to 3 times higher on average than anywhere else for the identical medicines. This unacceptable burden on hardworking American families ends with my administration. Most proposals the Trump administration has received to resolve this critical issue promised more of the same, shifting blame and requesting policy changes that would result in billions of dollars in handouts to industry. Moving forward, the only thing I will accept from drug manufacturers is a commitment that provides American families immediate relief from the vastly inflated drug prices and an end to the free ride of American innovation by European and other developed nations. Accordingly, I'm calling on Eli Lilly and Company and every manufacturer doing business in our great country to take the following actions within the next 60 days. Extend the most favored nation pricing to Medicaid, guarantee most favored nation pricing for newly launched drugs, return increased revenues abroad to American patients and taxpayers, provide for direct purchasing at most favored nation pricing. The President's team, including Secretary Kennedy and Administrator Oz, stand ready to implement these terms. The President expects to further engage with them immediately in good faith to deliver relief for American families. Make no mistake, a collaborative effort towards achieving global pricing parity would be the most effective path for companies, the government, and American patients. But if you refuse to step up, we will deploy every tool in our arsenal to protect American families from continued abuse.
I'll just fill you in. It looks like what she's going to talk about next here. Let's see if she shows the... There's a, I think, yeah, right here. They're going to build a ballroom. I think it's like 90,000 square feet ballroom or something. It's 90,000. Just seems so absurd, but I think that is it or something like that. Let's see. White House ballroom. I think it's like 90,000 square feet or something crazy. Yeah, it is 90,000 square foot ballroom. So that came out today here by the White House. It looks gorgeous, by the way. I mean, Trump with the gold. I mean, it's definitely Trump's mark on it. I believe he's paying for it himself, if I have that correct. Putting a whole extension on the White House there. I mean, it looks beautiful. It looks gorgeous. Here's a little bit of what that looks like, because you're not going to be able to see the photos that she's going to show you. They're really small. But here's like the White House. I mean, it kind of takes away from the White House a little bit. You know, it's a nice little bridge and connector there. But it looks nice. Is it really needed? I guess. I don't know. Maybe. I'm just glad, if I have this correct, I believe he's paying for it. I personally wouldn't want my tax dollars go into this. So if he's going to pay for it, then, you know, hey, his money, man, do what you will. Make the thing look nice. It looks gorgeous. It really does. And it fits well with the architecture that's in the White House. So that's what she's talking about here.
Space. It's quite beautiful.
Let's get to the questions.
Well, I think a major organization of the national security apparatus, at least here at the White House within the National Security Council, has indeed taken place, and the president entrusts his current CIA director, John Ratcliffe, and our ODNI director, Tulsi Gabbard, to make the necessary changes to ensure classified intelligence, especially that could implement or hurt
Thanks for you guys over
the
at
national
Rumble.
security of our country. Does not make its way into the hands of irresponsible actors who want to politicize that intelligence for their own end. Since you brought up the declassification report that was put out by Senator Grassley today, I'm glad you brought it up, because this should be a story every outlet in this room should be covering.
Correct.
This is further evidence that Hillary Clinton approved the Russia hoax against President Trump. Her campaign financed it. Again, she approved it. And the FBI and the CIA were both weaponized to, as our director of CIA has said, accelerate this hoax against then candidate and former President Trump. To answer the heart of your question, the president wants to see justice served, and he trusts the Attorney General and the Department of Justice
Trump and several other donors
implement
are
that
paying for it.
justice
Great.
and
Okay.
hold these people
Thank you, Ms.
accountable.
Ma. Appreciate
One
that.
more question briefly, if I may, on a totally different topic. There's been legislation reintroduced in the House and Senate on designating the Muslim Brotherhood as a terrorist organization. The Muslim Brotherhood is considered by many to be the fountainhead of Sunni Islamic supremacism, from which Hamas and other groups have spawned, with a nexus to domestic organizations as well. Does the president support designating the Muslim Brotherhood as a terrorist organization?
Frankly, I'm not sure, because I haven't talked to him, and I would never want to get ahead of the National Security Council on specific designations. It sounds like something this administration would support, but we can get a firm answer for you. How's that?
Thank you.
Thanks for being here. Jennifer, go ahead. Eager beaver today.
How much of the East Wing will be torn down? The entire East Wing, or just parts of it?
So the East Wing is going to be modernized. The necessary construction will take place, and for those who are housed in the East Wing, including the Office of the First Lady, the White House Military Office, the White House Visitors Offices, those offices will be temporarily relocated while the East Wing is being modernized.
And then on Israel-Gaza, there are some
so
reports...
they're like fully going through with it then. It's happening. It's not just this little BS thing. Wow.
negotiations with Hamas might not be continuing. Did you get any updates from Steve Witkoff on that?
I did. Special Envoy Witkoff is actively talking with our counterparts in Israel about that, and he wants to give some grace to the president so he can fully brief the president on what he's learning on the ground in both Israel and Gaza. But the president put out a very strong statement on Truth Social this morning, which I'm sure you saw, and he said the quickest way to end this entire conflict, the humanitarian crisis that we've seen, and the crisis in Israel that, of course, started on October 7th when Hamas brutally kidnapped and raped innocent Israelis, that terrible terrorist attack, is for Hamas to surrender, to release all of the hostages, and to end this conflict. And that's what the president wants to see. He's made that very clear. But the special envoy will be in Gaza tomorrow, as I shared with you previously. Josh.
Can you give us a little more clarity on the tariff timing? You said that the reciprocals will take effect tomorrow.
Yes.
Does that include the new auto rates, for instance, on Japan, Korea, the EU? Is this all coming effective tomorrow?
So some of the countries you just mentioned, Japan, South Korea, they have bespoke trade deals that the president cut, which, just to backtrack for a second, Josh, we promised that the president would negotiate with countries all around the world to cut tailor-made trade deals depending on those countries' challenges, how badly they've ripped off the United States of America and our manufacturing industry and our workforce in the past. And he has done that. Of our 18 major trading partners, 2/3 of those trading partners have a deal. We've sent out 17 letters to countries around the world. And the rest of those countries that either do not have a deal or have a letter, they will be hearing from this administration by the midnight deadline tonight. So yes, tomorrow, August 1st, the reciprocal rates will be going into effect. If more deals are cut between now and midnight, I will never count out the president. You've seen him do it before. He cut 3 deals in one day very recently. So we'll see what happens. I do know foreign leaders are ringing his phone, realizing this deadline is a real thing for them tomorrow, and they're bringing offers to the table.
We were reporting that the president plans to meet David Solomon of Goldman Sachs today. Can you say what they'll discuss, if anything, in that meeting?
I won't discuss the president's private meetings from this podium, and it hasn't taken place yet unless he gives me liberty to do so.
And finally, have you talked to the president about his position on the stock trading ban bill for Congress? He obviously had pretty loaded comments about
I want
Senator
this to
Hawley's
happen.
reporting that they've since spoken. What is his position on the current status of that bill?
The president has spoken to Senator Hawley, who called him, and the president took that call. As the president said in the Roosevelt Room yesterday, conceptually, he of course supports the idea of ensuring that members of Congress and United States senators who are here for public service cannot enrich themselves. And the reason that this idea to put a ban on stock trading for members of Congress is even a thing is because of Nancy Pelosi. I mean, she is rightfully criticized because she makes, I think, $174,000 a year, yet she has a net worth of approximately $413 million. In 2024, Nancy Pelosi's stock portfolio, this was a fascinating statistic to me, grew 70% in 1 year in 2024, and her portfolio outperformed every single large hedge fund in that same year, and even more than doubled the returns of Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway. So I think the president stands with the American people on this. He doesn't want to see people like Nancy Pelosi enriching themselves off of public service and ripping off their constituents in the process. As for the mechanics of the legislation and how it will move forward, the White House continues to be in discussions with our friends on Capitol Hill. Emily, in a new seat today.
Thanks, Caroline. I wanted to ask about this report that the president wants to host a G20 meeting at Trump Durrell. How is he going to do that, considering all the preparations that have been going on in South Africa? And also, would that be seen as his businesses possibly profiting from hosting this kind of meeting?
I would reject that premise entirely. We have announcements and details forthcoming on the G20, but my understanding is no firm announcement is ready to be made at this time. I did see the report, but we're not in a place to confirm it just yet.
Michelle? Just on the tariffs, what are the logistics for imposing those? Does the president have to sign an executive order tonight? What's the timing?
Yes, and he will be signing an executive order at some point this afternoon or later this evening. And as always, we'll keep you posted when that happens, and it will be released from our office.
And are there some of these countries that have they all had contact with U.S. officials, or are there some countries that are going to get letters that have had no opportunity to negotiate with the United States?
Well, there's a lot of countries that I know have reached out. I believe it's upwards of 200 countries around the world have reached out to the trade and tariff team. Of course, as I said previously,
I just want to point out, she just got done. Hey, thank you, EFO. I appreciate that. $4.99. You've been in here for a while. I definitely recognize the name. I'd respect our constitutional rights. Appreciate that. Thank you for the $4.99. God bless you. That's really cool of you. Thank you. Thanks for all the donations, you guys. That's really kind. Please don't feel like you have to. It's there for if you want to. That's, I try not to grift, I think is what it's called. I try not to panhandle. But all money, again, 100% of the proceeds that you guys contribute to the show goes back into the show. There's not a single penny that goes back into my pocket. So with that being said, this whole thing about the CIA, the FBI, I mean, everything about Hillary Clinton, the Obama gate, the Russia collusion. Do you notice no questions, really? Just nothing? Don't they do the same? Do they pull the same thing when she goes on about the illegal immigrants that are committing all these heinous crimes against children? She goes on and on and on and on and on about it. And they go, yeah, hey, I got a question about egg prices.
Obviously, and the president said we're going to prioritize our key trading partners, which we have done. Like I said, of the 18, 2/3 of those we have cut these tailor-made deals with. But I do know that the trade team has been working around the clock to try to be in correspondence with as many countries as possible. But if they haven't heard from us yet, they will in the form of a letter or an executive order by midnight tonight. We'll go to the back. Sure, go ahead. In the back left.
Thank you.
Amanda, yes.
Thank you very much. I have to ask about the US,
Amanda, you can go.
US and South Korea tariff negotiations. At the tariff negotiation between South Korea and the United States concluded yesterday. President Trump stated on his SNS, Truth Social, that he would announce the specific details of the investment in the United States.
What I'm about to say is going to come across as me being an a-hole, but that's not where my heart's at. Okay. This woman that is speaking has very poor English. I got nothing against it. Look, she speaks better English than I would be able to speak her language. What I'm trying to say here is, if you're a White House correspondent and your job is to legitimately ask questions. I knew Krager would love the grift away because he's freaking over at the Crucible, you son of a bitch. I love you, dude. Yeah, I know what Andrew does. It's just, maybe one day, Krager, I'll grift. Maybe one day I'll say, hey, we're going to, he's just, look, I don't produce content as great as Andrew does. So maybe one day, but you would think for a White House correspondent, when you're speaking to somebody, you would want somebody that's good at English. Do you know what I mean? Am I making sense here? Like for example, you wouldn't want me showing up to doing a correspondence in South Korea, for example, me trying to be trying to freaking speak like trying to speak Korean, be a little bit weird.
States at the South Korea United States Summit in 2 weeks. My question is this tariff negotiation a final agreement or is further negotiation necessary?
Yes, as you know, the president met with representatives of the Republic of South Korea here at the White House yesterday, and they did, in fact, reach a deal. And South Korea will pay a 15% tariff rate, including 15% on autos, while providing historic market access to American goods like autos and rice. Korea will purchase $100 billion in American energy by 2028. And the centerpiece of this deal is that South Korea has agreed to invest $350 billion at the president's direction to revitalize American industry. 90% of those profits will go to the United States government to help pay down our debt and for other matters at the president's choosing. So it was a very successful meeting yesterday.
When is set up the further U.S.-South Korea summit day?
I'll get you something on that. I don't have it at my fingertips. Okay, Amanda.
I'll be honest. I don't have a clue what she said. I'm with Trump on this. I'm terrible at being able to understand what the hell people are saying that have an accent. When somebody talks like that, anytime we're at like a drive-through or a restaurant, my wife immediately knows to take full control. Immediately, she knows. The moment we're at the point now where the moment somebody starts like speaking in a heavy accent, I'm like, turn off my brain. I'm done. And you know what I do? I look right over at my wife. She knows exactly what to do. She can understand. She can understand what the hell people are talking about and what they're saying. Sometimes it's so thick that she don't even know. Then we're both screwed, which is a hilarious whole thing to just witness. Rumble chat is working. Yes, I see you guys over at Rumble. Rumble is working. Trust me, I have both open. I keep going back and forth. Matter of fact, let's just do this. Let's just put the chat back up. There we go. Boom.
Thank you, Caroline. There are a number of congressional Republicans who have raised the alarm about the fact that roughly 80% of pharmaceuticals are either manufactured or their precursors are manufactured in either China or India.
China.
There are some pieces of legislation, some recommendations, which include either onshoring, nearshoring, or friendshoring, those components of that. Do you know if the president intends to throw the weight of the executive behind that?
I don't have any updates for you at this time. I do have an update on our EU trade deal. I stand corrected. It's not $60 billion in investments. It's $600 billion in investments. I want to make that very clear. And I personally watched the president behind closed doors with the European president in Scotland negotiating this deal. And he got the most juice out of that squeeze that he could. And he was constantly looking out for America's interests. So I just wanted to clarify that one point. Deanna.
Thanks, Caroline. For the countries that don't have a deal yet, should we be looking at the April 2nd chart at all? Or is he negotiating and talking about having a set tariff rate, 10%, 20%?
Those discussions are taking place with the trade team today, and again, we'll provide further guidance with that executive order once it is signed, and the answer to that question will be in that executive order.
Is he looking to provide any more extensions today after his phone call with Mexico? Is there any other conversations like that?
I do know that other foreign leaders around the world have reached out, and if the president decides to share the conclusions of those calls with all of you, he will do so himself. But I do want to reiterate what the president said about Mexico. Mexico is still paying tariffs. They're paying a 25% tariff on fentanyl, 25% tariff on cars, a 50% tariff on.
Did I hear that? Did she just misspeak? Did I hear that correctly? Did she just say 25% on fentanyl? What? Am I missing something here? You guys let me know in the chat.
Steel, they're paying you. He will do so himself. But I do want to reiterate what the president said about Mexico. Mexico is still paying tariffs. They're paying a 25% tariff on fentanyl, 20%.
Yeah, I did speed up the feed. This is sped up. Yeah. It goes so slow. It just bugs me when people talk so they paid a 25% tariff on fentanyl. Like, guys, I personally can't. Off the show, just if you're ever aware, I listen to everything on 2 times the speed or 2.5 times. I listen to full podcasts like that. So that's how I'm able to go through a lot of content quickly. So if I'm going through something 2 times the speed, this doesn't take me 34 minutes to watch. It takes me 12, 15 minutes. That's just how I am. I appreciate that, Dizzy. God bless you, man. I love you. Thanks, dude. I always appreciate your support. You know I love you, Dizzy. Somebody had something here. Yeah. Can somebody explain this to me? I'm looking at the chat to see I don't understand the fentanyl thing.
5% tariff on.
By the way, if this speed is bugging you guys, let me know. So I'll go back to it. It's just, I don't know. Let me know if it's bugging you though.
A 50% tariff on steel,
it's only
aluminum,
at
and copper. And additionally, Mexico has agreed to immediately terminate its non-tariff trade barriers, of which there are many. And as the president said, we will continue to talk to Mexico over the next 90 days with the goal of signing a larger trade deal. The key to this, again, is Mexico has agreed to terminate those non-tariff barriers and to continue to work with us in good faith. Mexico is a very unique situation of all the other countries around the world because, of course, we share our southern border with Mexico.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you. Appreciate that. Hell yeah. So Angel says, yes, pharmaceutical fentanyl is used in hospitals and other medical settings. Thank you. That's why we always go to the chat.
Which we've seen an increase in cooperation between Mexico's President Claudia Sheinbaum and our administration on clamping down on drug trafficking and human trafficking at the southern border. We appreciate those efforts and will continue to work in good faith and to continue to have these trade discussions as well. Joey.
Yeah, thanks, Caroline. Just clarifying a previous question. President Trump has indicated he's been looking at either 15% or 20% baseline universal tariff. Has he landed on one of those yet?
I won't get ahead of the president.
Beth says it's used for anesthesia as well. Thank you. Okay, I did not know that.
Secretary Bassett mean yesterday when he called the new Trump accounts for newborns a, quote, backdoor to privatizing Social Security. Does the administration view this new Trump accounts as a way to, in the long term, perhaps privatize Social Security?
I keep moving, dude. If you guys notice, I'm sorry I keep pausing, dude. I am so fucking sore, dude. Like my whole body hurts like a mother effer. And I didn't even go that hard. Holy shit. So if you guys keep seeing me go like this or whatever, I mean, I'm talking everything from the neck down, from my back to my legs to my ass. So for those that are just joining us, I've started a new workout program a couple days ago. That's why I slept in today. And I'm fucking feeling it, dude. Holy crap.
Secretary of Treasury was saying, and what this administration believes, is that these Trump newborn accounts, which is an incredibly creative and great provision that was in the One Big Beautiful Bill for newborn babies and families and future generations of Americans, will help supplement, not substitute, Social Security. The Trump administration is wholeheartedly committed to protecting Social Security. The president did it in his first term. He's doing it again in this term. But these newborn accounts are another revenue stream for young people to watch their money grow throughout their lives and to one day be able to access those funds so they can hopefully build a home and live the American dream. Jake.
I did squats.
One follow-up on tariffs and one not. Is the president at all considering extending the August 12th China deadline at all? Is that in consideration?
So look, on China, you heard from the president on Air Force One when we were returning from Scotland. You've heard from the Treasury Secretary as well, Ambassador Jameson Greer. They just spent 2 days in Geneva for their third round of talks with China. And the current policy, the current trade program that we have going with China right now, as it stands, will decrease our deficit by $5 billion this year. So we are moving in the right direction when it comes to China. And Secretary Besant and Ambassador Greer continue to be in direct communication with our Chinese counterparts.
Is it as an extension on the table potentially from the August 12th deadline?
That's what my wife says, Karen. Epsom salt. I don't believe in that,
speak on that because he's leading these.
Is there a doctor in here? Do we have a doctor or a nurse? I'm always curious because Q. Okay, so Q is like our legal analyst here on the show. Okay, but do we have like an actual doctor or nurse? Like Betts, for example, we go to Betts for business stuff. We go to Jeff for like accounting stuff. Like we have our own little community we're building here. We go to Dizzy for music. I've heard about the Epsom salt thing. Look, I'm not big into like that voodoo witchcraft shit. And listen. I know it's not witchcraft or voodoo, okay? It's just a metaphor. It's just an analogy. Dr. Ron is here. Who's Dr. Ron? Oh, fucking Dizzy. God damn it. By the way, Dizzy, I believe that is your name, and I might get that wrong, but I'm pretty sure that is your name. Start with the bar at 5 pounds a week. Yeah, I've heard about the Epsom salt thing. That's yeah. I don't know, but should I try it and let you guys know I'm free again? I have an associate's in Jeff
negotiations. Reagan, go ahead.
Thanks, Sterling. There's growing frustration that.
Yeah, I figured that was your first name, Dizzy.
Why does the president think Senate Republicans?
Yeah, I thought that was Dizzy's name. I was like, I think that.
The president has had many conversations with his friends in the United States Senate about advancing his nominees, his judicial nominees through this process. It is critical that we get these good attorneys in these positions so that we can end the weaponization of justice, so we can have true law and order in our country. It's unfortunate the Democrats are playing political games, but the president has made it clear to Senate Republicans they need to do everything in their power to advance the president's nominees as well. Kelly, go ahead.
Caroline, thank you. Two questions real quickly.
Sure.
Nigeria. Congressman Chris Smith, Republican from New Jersey, is calling upon the President of the United States to do something in terms of imposing perhaps sanctions on Nigeria for the persecution of Christians.
Still no questions about the Clinton stuff, folks.
By radical Islamic groups.
Massive bombshell, not a single question about it.
And do you know if there's any action that the President will take?
I'm not.
7 hours ago. So what time is that my time? 5. Okay. I'm trying to give a benefit of the doubt here. Was there a time lapse between when the documents were released and when this press briefing happened? I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt here.
Tracking a call between the president
Thanks,
and the head of Nigeria.
Thanks, John.
I know the president wholeheartedly condemns
Appreciate
the persecution of Christians or, frankly, of people of any faith all over the world, but I don't have any updates for you in terms of sanctions in this part of the world.
My second question, Caroline, deals with immigration here in America. As you know, a lot of deportations have been
Hold
going on.
it together,
ICE
Dave.
has been going after violent criminals that are here illegally, and rightly so. In the midst of that, there are some evangelical pastors who are stating that it may have gone to a point of being indiscriminate and actually getting innocent people like members of the clergy. Has the president and has ICE looked at that to see how they can actually go after those violent criminals, but also make sure that members of the clergy are still not being deported?
Well, look, the administration has always maintained the position that anyone who illegally crosses our nation's borders is subject to deportation. Yep. That's just the law of the land, and we must be a nation that enforces our laws. But the priority from ICE, of course, is to deport, detain, arrest, and remove violent illegal aliens and criminals from our country. And they have been doing that at the rate of thousands of illegal violent criminals every single week, especially in Democrat-run sanctuary cities where these illegal violent criminals have been given a safe haven and have essentially been immune from our nation's laws under the previous administration. That's not happening anymore because of this president and Secretary Noem in the Department of Homeland Security, and we are going to be a nation of laws. And as we've said repeatedly, if you came here illegally, you are subject to deportation, but the priority are those public safety threats that we must remove from our communities.
Thank you, Dizzy, for the 1999, man. I appreciate that. God bless you. Free speech for Bald Brad, the true king of news media where the truth lives and breathes. Thanks, dude. That's really kind of you. Hell yeah, I appreciate that. We'll give Dizzy a shout out too, like we always do here. We love our boy Dizzy. He has a TikTok. I always talk about his TikTok because I do watch his videos every single time he uploads. You got to go watch his TikTok videos. The guy's really good at guitar. And I keep trying to tell Ron to upload more videos of him playing hit songs, Dizzy. You got to play hit songs. And I gotta give Dizzy like a rundown. We'll have to go live. Me, you, and Jeff, and other people could join in. We'll have to go live on TikTok, and I'll give you some tips on getting more views on those videos. You get good views as it is, but we can bump that up, and we'll get you going and hopefully monetized on TikTok, because I have a vision for you, Dizzy, and I know how to get that TikTok to blow up using your guitar, and we just got to do it. Anywho.
So much,
thank you, man. Appreciate that. God
so
bless you.
So what Hamas hardness its position and Israel provides aid? Do you have any new
Dizzy also, I guess he posts on Rumble as well. Dizzy and Def over on Rumble. Give him a follow. Hell yeah.
I'll
find his page. Am I not following?
And second question, we heard President Trump criticize President Macron and Prime Minister Starmer for their statement about recognizing a Palestinian state. What is the president's position on recognizing a Palestinian state, and will he recognize Israeli sovereignty in Judea and Samaria?
I can answer both of those questions for you. On the second question about a Palestinian state, the president expressed his displeasure and his disagreement with the leaders of France, the United Kingdom, and Canada. He feels as though that's rewarding Hamas at a time where Hamas is the true impediment to a ceasefire and to the release of all of the hostages. So to your first question, the president wants to see all of the hostages released. He cares deeply about this. He has met with many of the former hostages, many of the families of those who have loved ones who are still being held hostage in Gaza. I have met with them too. It is absolutely devastating what these poor people have been through, and the president is always thinking about them, and that's why he's designated his special envoy Steve Witkoff, who's doing a tremendous job to release the hostages and to end this conflict. But the president has always said the last remaining hostages, now there are 20 living hostages in Gaza, will always be the hardest because Hamas is unfortunately using these innocent people as bargaining chips. But nevertheless, we are committed to seeing this come to an end.
Elizabeth. Thanks, Caroline. Part of the settlement with Brown prohibits it from performing transgender procedures or prescribing hormone puberty blockers, that type of thing. Will eliminating these types of procedures be a priority for the Trump administration in negotiations with other universities?
I can tell you that ending the chemical castration of children in our country is a priority of this administration. We've talked to many of these universities about it, but the president has also taken very strong action to cut off the funding for any medical institution in this country that provides those barbaric procedures. The Brown University agreement, since you brought it up, is yet another win to root out anti-Semitic behavior on our nation's college campuses and unlawful racial discrimination. Brown has agreed to no longer allow unlawful racial discrimination in admissions or university programming. They have agreed to provide access to all relevant data and information to rigorously assess compliance with its commitment to merit-based admissions, and they will pay $50 million over 10 years to state workforce development organizations that comply with
It's actually a pretty hard word to say. You guys try to say it rigorously. It's actually pretty hard, man. Give it a go. Try it. And don't you say it like you normally would. Don't go slow. Don't go rigorously. Don't you pull that.
Discrimination laws, supporting regional economic growth and career opportunities. Brown will also adopt the definitions of male and female from President Trump's executive order, defending women and gender ideology extremism for women's sports, programming, facilities, and housing. Brown will no longer perform gender reassignment surgeries on minors or prescribe them puberty blockers or cross-sex hormones. And Brown will take steps to improve the campus climate for Jewish students and combat anti-Semitism on their campus. This is yet another huge win for American students and for those who love our country and want to abide by our country's laws. On the topic of defending women.
You know what she needs to do? She needs to do a press conference like this right here. Just walk up one day. This is such a great idea. For those in the White House, if you stumble upon this video, what you need to do is do a press conference that seems normal, like you normally do. Open up with your speech, your monologue, that whole thing. And then you go on and say, I'm only taking questions regarding the release of the Hillary Clinton documents that were declassified by Chuck Grassley and released by Chuck Grassley and Tulsi Gabbard. If you do not have any questions surrounding this, I would like for you to leave the room right now. There you go. And then what you do is you put the camera on everybody else, and then you watch and see which news outlets leave. And then what you do is you stand on the podium and go, okay, CNN just left. NBC just left. ABC is walking out the door. By the way, I would do that first with all the, if you don't have a question about where all the little girls are that have been having evil acts by all these illegal immigrants committed upon them, if you don't have a question about how they're doing or what's going on with them or anything circulating around these evil crimes, you can just get up and leave right now. And then you go and then you call out the people that are leaving. You just turn the camera around on them. That's all that needs to happen here. I need to start working in the White House. I know people that work in the White House. I've actually been offered a tour of the White House. I should message that or take them up on that. I should have taken up on them this summer. I should do that. I'm not gonna tell you how I have that connection. It's none of your business. But they know who they are, and actually, I might take them up on that. Be pretty good. I need to take them up before Trump's out of office. Is what I need to do, and I want them to go on the tour with me. Anyways, okay, let's go to this. This is James Klug. The guy lives locally. This is at Huntington Beach. I go here all the time. Matter of fact, I was going to go here last night actually with my wife and go walk around for a bit. There's actually, hold on a second. There's this restaurant right here called Duke's. So for anybody that's ever in Southern California, you don't need to go to Seal Beach. Like Huntington Beach is a really good vibe for like Surf City. Okay. This place is a pretty good place to eat at. It's right there on the beach, like right here where your guys' chat is. The ocean's just to the right, I guess a little this way, to the right. So you get a really nice ocean view. Really good food if you ever want to eat there. You know what's kind of crazy? Let me see if it's actually in the video here. I want to see if it's here. Let me see really quick. Hold on. See if he has it. There's like these like surf, you see the sports, right? There's a nice Mexican food called Fred's up top you can eat at. This is like the main street here. There's like parking around the corner. I used to go here all the time to people watch. Late at night, this is pretty cool. There's a bunch of bars on the street. And this used to be like the place to go to back in the day with UFC, with like Tito Ortiz, Chuck Liddell. All the guys used to be down here in UFC shirts. It's where they used to all hang out late at night. But, you know, they got Volcom. A lot of good places to go down here for surfing if you guys want to hit it up. It has changed since 1999. Yeah. What's weird is Huntington Beach has gotten nicer since the 90s, I would say. And I would say Seal Beach has gotten worse. Seal Beach, if you want like old school Surf City, like old school type of vibe, go to Seal Beach. It's just a little bit north of this, probably like 6 miles or something like that. But anywho, let's go to this. Let's see what people are saying down here. James Klug is always down here.
We should be left over.
Hold on, here we go.
When did we lose our democracy?
When he came president.
Yeah. So when he was democratically elected is when we lost it? You're saying we need to blow up Congress. Who should be left over?
Do you know who should be left over? Jasmine Crockett.
Jasmine Crockett. What is going on, everyone? James Klug here. There has been a lot of talk from Democrats about losing our democracy, even though we're technically a constitutional republic. But anyways, do people really believe this? Today we're going to find out. Let's go talk to some people.
Head over to James Klug and give him a subscribe, man. He's
have
great.
we lost our democracy yet? There's been a lot of talk about that.
Trump.
I feel like we're getting closer to it, that's for sure.
I think no, but we're pretty close to it.
Oh, God.
Is that a hard question?
Yes.
Is it? Okay.
I do think that we have lost our democracy because everybody is just subsiding to Trump kissing his ass and bypassing the Constitution and the laws.
I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so. And as far as Donald Trump being president, he's doing exactly what we voted him in to do.
Everything's working well. We're voting correctly. I don't think anything's being like dictatorship, like as perceived. Democracy is brighter than ever, I would argue.
People love Trump. They were not ready for Kamala at the time. So they voted for him.
Do you vote for Trump?
It doesn't matter what I voted for.
I don't care, but I'm just.
She might care.
Think that
Oh, this is gonna be a rough rest of the day between these two friends. Oh no. She definitely voted for Trump. She definitely did not. And here's the thing. She is going to stop talking to her and not the other way around. See, Trump supporters don't mind being friends with the libs, but the libs have a tough time being friends with the Trump supporters. And she's definitely, by the way, she's kind of hot right here, this girl. This girl, you can tell, got some looks too, but I like the Trump one better.
things are going to change.
Okay. You're hearing a lot of people saying that we're losing our democracy. Trump's president right now. Have we lost our democracy or no?
Yeah, we lost.
We lost it. When did we lose our democracy?
When he came president.
Yeah. So when he was democratically elected is when we lost it? What do you see as being closer to losing our
Smart ass, James.
Well, the pass of the big, beautiful bill that's going to take away a lot of rights and a lot of health care and a lot of other things. And then,
oh, God, here we go.
Using Congress to pass legislation?
Well, that, and then also the going.
What rights are being taken away? That's news to me. No, hold on a second. This is what this guy's saying. I'm curious. What rights are being taken away by the big beautiful bill. I haven't heard this before, so this is news to me. Anybody in the chat know which rights are being taken away? Because as far as I know, and I've read the bill, at least some of it. I mean, I'm not going to read all 900 pages. That's insane. But the bill does not explicitly involve the removal or granting of specific rights. The guy just pulled it out of his you-know-what.
Going after migrants and migrant workers and stuff like that.
You ever see that show?
Just migrants, not illegal immigrants, but just migrants. 'Cause, geez, oh boy. Here we go.
Designated survivor. In the beginning of the show,
I never saw it.
You have the entire
Congress.
Thank you. Everybody in
The House and
Congress in one spot, and they designate someone from the Democratic Party and someone from the Republican Party, and they put them somewhere where nobody knows, and then somebody blows up the entire Congress. Everybody, president, vice president, everybody gets totally blown up, and then these two become the rulers.
Right.
And
That's what needs to happen, is a long story
Yes.
short.
Oh, okay. I was wondering where we were going. So that we need.
What the heck? These people are so unwell. So unwell. I know that you knew this even before any words came out of their mouth, but folks. You have people living in this country that straight up just asked for the deletion of Congress. Just openly, just no care in the world. See, they don't get silenced or none of this. See, TikTok thrives over this type of stuff. It's okay for them to say it. But I pull an actual declassified document from Congress and do a news report on it, it gets taken down.
You're saying we need to blow up Congress, and then who should be left over?
I mean, we never want to
Who should be left over?
Do you know who should be left over? Jasmine Crockett, Hakeem Jeffries.
Jasmine Crockett.
Hakeem Jeffries. Maybe a little twinkling of AOC in there. Absolutely. Those are the people who should be left over.
Oh, not a Democrat and a Republican then, just Democrats.
No, not at all.
You're saying losing our democracy, bypassing the Constitution. What are you talking about?
Well, for example, one of many examples, the whole immigration thing, citizens are being deported. That's
She doesn't want to be in it.
Constitution. So, and no
Citizens are being deported. Who?
Who is a citizen?
There you
that
go,
is being
James.
Deported?
I don't know anyone personally,
there you go,
but
yeah.
I have seen stories online, and I, for myself, am concerned for my father, who is a citizen but doesn't speak English very well.
Why not?
Myself,
Do you think that they are just deporting people because they look Hispanic and they might be Americans?
She's back.
If so, is it important that we have evidence to back up that claim?
Yes, it is important that there's evidence.
He's deporting people without due process. You have to have due process.
No, he's not.
I'm all for him getting rid of the criminals, but don't just grab people and take them away without making sure who they are, what they've done,
Well, they had to have been able to find them in the first place, right? That's why they're showing up to their house or their workplaces, because they've already done all that work. That's already happened. Sometimes it's even by court order, by the way.
Everybody deserves due process.
What do you mean due process for those?
Right to
Because
an
we
attorney.
might have a disagreement here.
The right to an attorney, the right to
You
a
don't
hearing.
The right to attorney, that is for
too.
criminal courts, not for immigration. Just to clarify with you, I gotta make sure I give you good information here. Immigration is an administrative process.
But
It's
they,
civil.
they do need due
So they
process.
don't get due process
just to
for
grab people. If they're just grabbing people and we don't know it, are they really illegal or not? There's a lot of speculation, a lot of rumors saying that they're grabbing American citizens and taking them.
Yeah, well, that's why it's speculation and rumor.
Who though? That's the next question we got to ask, right? Like
No,
who
I don't
did
believe
that
it.
happen to?
I don't
Right.
believe everything I hear.
Right.
But
same here.
But is it happening? We don't know. With the way that this radical president
Any
is,
evidence?
I don't believe everything I hear, but yet I'm going to answer a question that I don't have any evidence for based on something that I heard. Okay.
Yeah, they had that one guy that they took without, I don't remember his name, and then a senator had to go over there to El Salvador
Had a
and try to get him out of there
deportation
because they sent him over there to El Salvador prison with no due process or anything, and he was a citizen.
Kilmar Obrego Garcia was in the country illegally. He was also very likely an MS-13 gang member.
I don't know.
Let's be honest.
So they're talking about the Maryland man, I guess, huh? He's a good guy. I know him personally. Maryland guy's a good guy. Yeah, he used to sweep the streets right outside with a dustpan. Amazing. Wouldn't take a tip. Wouldn't take any money. Just out there trimming the bushes, everything. Guy's a phenomenal guy. Cleaned the pool. All for free. Doesn't even live around here. Just says, hey, I travel around just trying to make communities safer and better. Mm-hmm.
Coffee gives you a quick hit and then leaves you coffee.
1775, we know it, baby. We drink it.
Aging. It's seriously, who want to cost you money years from now.
Jesus, James.
Video.
You have to give them some process. Find out, are they an illegal alien? Send them away. Especially
if they're not in the system and they're in the country illegally, then they get sent away.
But I don't know. Like I said, there's a lot of reporting saying that they're just grabbing people and send them over there. Trump's building this like a concentration camp in Florida. And then he wants to open Alcatraz again, reopen.
What is the difference between a concentration camp and a detention facility for people to be deported at? Do you see any difference there?
The way this, yeah, there's a difference, but it's kind of the same.
Are they putting them there for forced labor and they can't get out?
Oh my God.
Have we lost our democracy yet, or are we going to?
No, it's already gone.
Okay, so what caused the loss of democracy?
Trump. There's nothing left to vote at. Look at what's happening right now.
So are you not going to vote in 2026?
So here's the thing.
We'll vote because we need somebody who's going to be able to repair all the damage that Trump has done.
But if you lost your democracy, then how would you be able to vote?
We have not had a real true option of candidates to vote for since Obama and McCain.
I don't think we've lost our democracy.
Have you heard about these arguments being made?
Yes.
Primarily from folks on the left, and I'm curious, why do you say no?
Well, I think because he still has a cabinet, and he was voted in, so I guess that would be the reason.
We just talked to somebody that said that democracy has ended, but they said that they're still going to vote in 2026. Does that make sense to you?
Not really.
Okay.
There's always sore losers, and that's just the way I see that. She's saying that because maybe perhaps her party didn't win. And you know what I mean? Maybe she feels like she got railroaded or something.
Really quick, though, if we've lost our democracy, what's the point of voting in 2026?
There's really not at this point. That's what it comes down to.
Wow.
Do you know what the point
Wild.
is? It's keeping America, America.
You know what? Yes, Democrats, listen to exactly what she says. There is no point in voting anymore. Mm-hmm. I'm going to say that again. I think Democrats, you might have missed one of your fellow people just speaking intellectual truths. I 100% think you should follow her advice. Probably one of the most truest things I've ever heard somebody say. Yes, democracy is gone. There is no reason as to why you need to go vote. That's only applicable to the Democrats, okay? I've never heard a more truthful thing out of a Democrat's mouth. Don't show up, Democrats. There's no point.
And whether it means anything at the end of the day doesn't matter, because these are our traditions, these are our roles, and we will get back to that America at one point in time.
How do you feel about this? I mean, what's the direction here for the next,
it's this guy again.
2 to 4 years? Do you think that we'll lose it by then, or no? Where are you at on this?
I hope not, but it sure feels like you've read the book 1984.
Yes.
It feels like we're heading in that direction.
Why are we close to losing our democracy?
I mean...
And whose fault is that? Sounds a lot like Democrats. They're the ones censoring. They're the ones that were deplatforming people. By the way, you want to talk about Orwell's 1984? It was the big tech companies, the private companies, also the public too, utilizing the executive branch to do the work of the executive branch, as well as the Democrat Party to censor their political opponents.
Honestly, I'm not too versed in it. No, I try to take politics not too seriously, but then, sometimes it affects your backyard, and then you kind of have to take it seriously, like with all the ICE situations, things like that. I live in Santa Ana, so that seeing things happen literally down the street from myself, it definitely doesn't give you hope that we still have a democracy. But I'm hoping it gets better. I don't know.
I'm curious your perspective on that, because it obviously hits home there. When it comes down to enforcing immigration law, deporting the people that are in the country illegally, what part of that is threatening democracy?
I mean, Santa Ana specifically, and I know Los Angeles, you know, it's home to sanctuary states, and I don't think people should be afraid to leave their house, even if they're illegal here or not. Negatively impacting those people.
Yeah.
By the way, you do that in another country, you will be arrested. It's amazing how people just get away with doing illegal things in this country. You do any of this stuff in another country, immediately arrested. You go to just talk. So Santa Ana, Irvine, Tustin. Irvine is known for having a lot of Chinese immigrants here. You go talk to any one of them and say, hey, if I was to immigrate illegally into China, what would happen to me? They would laugh in your face. They would, by the way, you pull that in Mexico, they would laugh in your face too. This whole idea of like, oh, well, I don't think people should be afraid. But if you're here legally, you shouldn't be afraid. But a lot of my friends are Hispanic. I live in Southern California. They all laugh at this. They're like, that's ridiculous. He's talking about Santa Ana. So if you guys are unaware, Santa Ana is a big proponent of having illegal immigrants in their community. Whether you agree with it or not, that's just a fact. They are very much supporters of having illegal immigrants in Santa Ana, California.
Doesn't really benefit the USA as a whole.
So that's the part where it's like that is threatening democracy.
Yeah, I think there's bigger fish to fry, and then we're not doing that.
I mean, I don't think that anybody should be in the country illegally, because that's part of the whole process of becoming American and being a citizen here. But the way that they seem to be going about it is just kind of crazy. Unmarked vehicles, not identifying, not wearing badges, wearing masks to protect their identity.
Is that the part to you that is anti-democracy, or no? Is it the whole is it the whole process? What are your thoughts?
That's definitely part of it.
The question should be, James, well, how would you like the process to work then? The answer usually is, oh, well, yeah, that, you know, I'm not a person that should be answering that. You know, that's not my line of work, you know. Well, either is, you know, a lot of things, but you still have an opinion about it. But it's probably a really nice guy to have a beer with, probably a really cool dude. I don't want anybody to think like I'm beating him up. I'm beating him up based on this issue, but it's just always funny. Oh, I don't like how he's doing it. Well, what do you expect these people just to show up and turn themselves in? Some of them are, very few.
A lot of them we need, especially the ones on the farms. Vet them, find out their record. Do they have any record here? Are they committing any crimes? If not, give them temporary worker status. Give them a social security card.
Doesn't that encourage more illegal immigration?
Correct.
If we're rewarding people for coming in illegally?
No.
Exactly, James.
Is enforcing those rules, though, is that a threat to democracy, going back to the point? Like, is enforcing immigration law, basic immigration law, is that really a threat to democracy?
Obama deported more people than anybody. It's not a threat.
Okay.
You know, they
just
should
have a problem with it, but it's not a threat.
No, just kind of the way they're doing it. They need to do it the right way.
As for threat to democracy,
doesn't want to tell us the right way,
this
though.
is a debate about immigration and enforcing fairly basic immigration laws, by the way. Is that a threat to democracy? Is that losing your democracy?
When I'm working, I have people come up and tell me that are white American ladies that I'm Hispanic. I'm the only Hispanic working. And they're telling me, you're going to get deported. And I'm like, no, I'm not.
It could be racist, but
I'm here in Huntington Beach. I'm not worried at all.
There you go.
Do you guys think it's game over for my cameraman? Is he gonna get deported?
let me hear your accent.
My accent?
Yeah.
No, he's
not. Or my Spanish?
I think it's based on the racial profiling.
Is it game over for Eric here, or is he okay?
You have to take your ID with you everywhere you go.
What was the marker that said to you, we lost our democracy officially? What was that benchmark?
By the way, I take my ID wherever I go as well, and I'm a white guy. Remember, these are the same people that believe black people can't get an ID. They're the same exact people. They're the same people. I said, well, who's gonna clean our hotel rooms and who's gonna mow our lawns? Who's gonna pick our food? All the same people, all the same party. It's freaking insane.
Mark, what was that point?
Well, that was a while ago, but recently it was like Trump getting rid of the public broadcasting system, which is run by the people. So him saying we're getting rid of it, Sesame Street is gone because Elmo basically said F Trump. So, yay, Elmo.
Did he really say it? Isn't it a children's show? Why was he saying that?
Well, he didn't say those words, but he said very similar words.
Did he?
He did.
Oh, I missed this. Have we lost our democracy? That was the question.
Democracy? No, everybody voted for him. Yeah. They wanted to vote for him, and the people that didn't vote for him voted for somebody else. So
I just had somebody telling me that we have lost our democracy. What are your thoughts about that? What does that mean?
I don't think we've lost our democracy whatsoever.
No, we voted him in, and a lot of people are upset now that he's doing exactly what we voted him in to do.
Yeah.
And people are getting mad about it, ICE and everything else. Yeah. That's what we voted him in to do. I say we because I voted.
We keep hearing that phrase, though, threat to democracy, threat to democracy. You don't buy that?
It's a buzzword that they're using to threaten everybody with the democracy. No, they all vote for everything. The Republicans they've got the pendulum and it's swinging that way. When people don't like it that way, they'll swing the other way. And unfortunately, hopefully it doesn't go too far in either way.
I'd like to pose a question. Did we ever have it?
Did we ever have a democracy?
Yeah.
Technically, we're a constitutional republic, but that's maybe besides the point for the video.
I don't know if we ever really had one.
We've heard that.
I kind of think that, our vote doesn't really even mean much, to be honest with you. Just because
I really hope this kid's a Democrat or this young man, because then you don't have to vote.
I feel like there's so many people that are like up in control and everything like that. Oh shit, my bad. It's okay. No matter what we say and like what we vote, I don't think it matters too much.
You watch any congressional hearing, you watch any hearing on the House, you're going to see a room full of Democrats who are trying to debate on a real, live, intelligent basis. The Republicans don't even come because they know they're going to win. They show up to vote and that's it. They aren't even entertaining the discussions anymore. That is where the root of democracy ending comes from, 100%.
I'm so curious about that, you guys, because in areas all over the country, even in Congress, when there's been a Democrat majority, supermajority, whatever it may be, Obamacare is one thing. You're not working with the other side. You're pushing that agenda that the American people at that time voted for, right? Do you have as much of a problem with that when Democrats have a supermajority? Or let's say California. Are they working with Republicans in California, or do they just have a supermajority and they can do what the voters want?
I don't know what she's talking
I'm
about.
not from California, so I can't speak to local politics
you see what
here.
I'm saying, though?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. What I do know is
there a problem with that?
With what?
If they have a supermajority, Democrats have a supermajority, them pushing their agenda, you don't have a problem with that?
No.
Then why do you have a problem with Republicans
doing
it?
You just spun my words completely.
I'm trying to clarify with what you're saying.
Both parties can absolutely push their agendas.
Right.
That's what they're there for. That's
Right.
what we, the people, voted them in to do, right? The public's interest in their specific regions, districts, etc.
Why are all those people coming here? It's not just Mexico. It's from all of South America coming here.
Well, we know that it's for our economy, and that's the problem, is they're only coming here for the economy. They're not coming here to actually assimilate into this country and follow the rules, regulations, the creed, and the values, which is why they're willing to break the law in the first place by coming here illegally. It's not it's not a difficult thing to fully understand and grasp. It really isn't. And we can watch and see the downfall of Europe over this exact same thing and seeing what happened to them. I would say they're probably financially, where I think we're worse off in a way of, them absorbing, meaning illegal immigrants absorbing our resources. But Europe is falling apart, man. Big time.
A lot of Central America, actually, over the last 4 years.
We're not too far behind
Central America is what I'm talking about. Coming this way, why?
They want a better life, obviously.
Well, a lot of it is because their life is in danger.
No, it's not.
El Salvador has cleaned it up.
It's
their life is in
semi-true.
danger.
Yeah.
I talked to a lot of people over there.
Yeah, but you don't need to travel 1,500 miles and across 20 different countries.
Correct.
Thanks, man. Appreciate you. Thank you. You don't need to travel across 20 different countries to get away from your one country. They're
Correct.
coming to the United States because we're the world's soup kitchen.
Yep.
I don't know about that.
You don't know about it? Remove every single social program that's out there that they're benefiting from. They won't come here anymore. They're coming here because they have a nice little handout. It's easier than ever to obtain the dream itself of getting up off your feet in America because of all the handouts that are provided to you. By the way, when you look at that immigration that we used to have, there was no welfare state. There was no welfare. There was, but it wasn't in terms of the capacity that's in now. So when you actually immigrated here, you just came here. You weren't given anything. It's like, okay, well, what you are given is an opportunity to make yourself into something. Now they come here, hey, here's a bunch of free stuff, and then we'll see if you can make yourself into something. But don't worry, even if you don't, we're going to support you on the taxpayer dime. Whereas before, hey, you come here, we're not going to give you anything. The thing that will give you is an opportunity. Oh, by the way, if you fall flat on your face, there is a safety net, but it's, really short-lived, and you better hope that you get it together or else you're really screwed. It's not like that anymore.
Illegal, so they don't want to go ask for government handouts like I believe people lie. They're giving them government handouts.
They get health care for free? Do you get health care for free?
Why are they going to go ask for this stuff when they have a chance of getting deported?
Do you get health care for free?
I don't believe that, dude. I don't believe
He
that
won't
these
answer the
people
question.
go
He hears
and
him.
ask for government assistance because that's a good way to get deported. They don't want to get deported.
They cost taxpayers about $150 billion per year minimum.
I don't believe that either.
That's okay.
Yeah, you don't believe a lot of things, but don't worry. He doesn't believe everything he reads online, but he's spewing a lot of CNN and MSNBC talking points. That's for sure. Don't believe. By the way, James Klug was being generous of saying 150 billion. It's probably about 250, right? We said about 250 billion 4 years ago. And I've always said, I think under Joe Biden's administration, illegal immigrants alone have cost us $1 trillion in 4 years. $1 trillion.
We're not going to agree on that, man.
Well, you don't believe anything.
Correct.
I guarantee you and me, let's go try to apply and say we're illegal. Give us some free health care.
Oh, you're denying that program exists?
Yeah.
Okay. You can just look it up. Look it up on your phone right now.
I love that James just pulls this up right here. By the way, it's more than that.
Free health care, give us some free money, free food. See what happens.
You want to look it up right now?
They're going to look for IDs.
You want to look it up right now? Illegal immigrants can get IDs in the state of California.
They're going to look for IDs.
They can get IDs.
By the way, I think it was who's Tim Walt's state? Is it it's not Minnesota? Is it Minnesota? Which state is Tim Waltz again? I forgot. I can't keep track of all this crap anymore. Hold on. Tim Waltz state. Is it Minnesota? Let me see here really quick. Yeah, it is Minnesota. So I believe Minnesota just issued IDs for everybody. I'm almost positive. I think that just happened. Didn't his state just issue IDs for everyone? I'm pretty sure that's the case. Under Tim Walt's administration, related to an issue, identification cards or driver's license, possibly to a broader group such as undocumented immigrants or residents, regardless of citizenship. This could be tied to your earlier. Yeah, I'll have to look that up. I think they did something like that.
You want to look up how much California
Of course
spends
he
on
doesn't. No.
healthcare per year?
I don't want to talk about
Nah,
that.
yeah,
No,
he's over it.
I don't believe the illegal immigrant stuff.
We can just be curious and check it out.
I'm not.
Nope.
They've never hurt me. This has been happening for all my life.
I just talked to a guy yesterday. His son was killed by an illegal immigrant. Somebody that was in the country.
Doesn't believe it, James.
And if we
Don't worry.
enforced basic immigration laws, that wouldn't have happened. He would still have his son. What would your message to someone like that be?
It's not real.
Stuff like that happens. Look at Chicago. All the people killing each other over there. Here, that aren't illegal, killing each other here.
Whoa.
Add more.
Americans. Why is that going to add more? Just because they're illegal?
Wow.
They're not supposed to be in the country in the first place.
So they're going to kill just because they're illegal?
Well, that's what happened to him.
Aren't we all illegal?
No. All right, everyone, that is it for today.
This is how these people think, man. I don't even know why I'm acting shocked right now. This is the type of people we have in Southern California. Whoa. And James is right again. The probability of that taking place, that crime against that kid with that illegal immigrant, should have been zero. The reason why is because they never should have been here in the first place, where there will always be the possibility of crime happening amongst Americans because they have a right to be here, because they're Americans. And because people don't understand that they don't understand statistics in general, because statistics is a relatively new mathematics that's being taught in schools. They don't get that. They're not able to process information. That was crazy, dude. I can't believe that. Wow. That's so man, dude, that's insane. Probably doesn't, but by the way, he doesn't even believe it. You know what I mean? He doesn't even, I'm sure I was waiting for him to say that, well, I don't even think that really happened. And then you're getting into some Alex Jones territory right there. That's crazy, guys. Wow. Talk about ending on a cliffhanger. James should have put that at the beginning. James, you got to clip that, brother, if you see this. Wow. Anywho, alrighty. I think we'll end it there. Tomorrow's episode, I'm just going to tell you now, is going to be all about the documents, the whistleblower, as well as the documents that were released. We're probably going to spend about 20-25 minutes on it at the beginning. I'm going to break it down for you, and then we'll cover some other news for Friday. And then remember, next week is one, it's a new month, right? So next week for Dark MAGA, we're going to be just for Rumble Premium members only. It's always helpful if you become a Rumble Premium member. Look, Rumble's the one social media that has never silenced me. I just want to point that. They've never silenced me. If anything, they've put me on their editors list multiple times. They treat me well. If I was to even message Dylan at any moment now, he would still respond back to me, even when he's not on work hours. So that's why I give, it's $99, but man, you're supporting somebody or an organization for free speech that has never silenced me, or as far as I'm aware, anybody. So screw YouTube, screw even Twitter, screw TikTok, and screw all these big platforms that want to not allow free speech to happen. So Rumble is a phenomenal platform. And that's why that's our hub and that's our home. So that's why I am, look, I'll look, if I was not doing this as a, personality, right? Whatever you want to call it that we do here, I would still be a Rumble Premium member just because of the cause that they're doing. You got to put your money where your mouth is, right? So I know you guys do that. Well, I support you through Rumble and stuff like that. I appreciate that. Thank you guys. But I'm just mentioning, like, I think it's important to still get part of Rumble Premium, even if you don't think you're going to use it. We need more people that are going to support that platform because I don't know. You're seeing the crap that they're doing to us and others. It's effed up, man. It really is. With that being said, have a good evening. Take care of yourselves. We'll be live tomorrow unless like something happens, but I plan on being live because I really want to cover the story. We're getting in the month of August, man. God, we're already 7 months through this year. It's crazy. I start work the following week. So this week, it's probably going to be our last week of going past an hour, going past 7. That following week, we're going to be having our normal hour-long show, cutting it off at 7, and me going to work. So with that being said, excuse me, pray for this country, pray for Donald Trump, pray for one another. And folks, I will see you later here on the Bob Brad Show. Appreciate you.